Hi, and welcome or welcome back if you've been here before. My name is Tanya, and I am on a journey to grow my side incomes so I can quit my corporate job. And my goal is to quit by the end of this year. It is 2026. We are now in the beginning of July, and today is actually July 4th, but I probably won't be publishing this video until tomorrow. Just because it's a holiday, so I'm not going to publish it on a holiday. Nobody cares about that. Anyway, I don't know why I mentioned it. So, halfway through the year already, and good grief. I made, okay, first off, I've been wanting to quit my corporate job for a while, since probably the second day that I started the job 2 years ago. So, but here we are. But I recently turned 50. I turned 50 last month in the beginning of June. And I really, really decided, if you're new here, this is my story. If you've been here before, you've heard this story more times than you probably wanted to. But I realized that I don't want to stay at my corporate job. I don't want to live the rest of my life working around somebody else's schedule, working around somebody else's rules, and working hard to make somebody else rich. So, yeah, I'm on a journey to bring in enough income so I can quit my corporate job. My goal is to have it be multiple streams of income and preferably multiple streams of passive income. Passive, as in, clearly you still need to work on them, but stuff that I can make money while I'm sleeping. So the two things that I am focused on are my Etsy shop, where I have my print on demand stuff, and I have recently started writing. Again, if you're new here, this will be new. But I have a book that I published at the end of May, and I am continuing to write books. And so those are the two things that I have really been focusing on, that I want to be able to increase my income from both of those sources in order to quit my job. So, where are we at in that journey? Not as far as I would like to be. um, I believe in being very candid and transparent, embarrassingly candid and transparent. But I don't want to be that person that's on here and says, I'm doing great and the world's perfect and uh, sunshine and rainbows all the time. That's not how it is. That's not how it is in the real world. Great to the people who their stories are true. And I'm not saying that they're not. I think that sometimes they're not as sparkly as they're sold to be. Anyway, we're not going to be all negative. My story is not sparkly. And so here it is. Yeah, we're in the beginning of July, and truth be told, I don't think that I'm going to make my goal by the end of this year to be able to quit my corporate job. Um, I I'm not going to hold on to that. It's not going to change my mindset, but I'm also I'm a very realistic person, and I just don't know how feasible it is. But we're putting out in the air, we're manifesting that we are still going to be able to do it. So, update on where we are at with things. So, if you have seen some of my, I think probably like the past two videos, I probably mentioned this. I had started to write my second book. And in my last video, I was hoping to update in this video that my book was done and published. That is not where, that is not where we were at. So here is a candid, embarrassing, transparent update. I have scrapped that book. And it stinks because I wrote the whole thing, I started editing it, and it just I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I kept kind of changing things, and then I would change things, but then that changed things later in the story, so they need to be changed. And I don't know. I just felt like the story just wasn't what I wanted it to be, and I couldn't get it to where I wanted to be. Um, I don't know if that happens to other people. I feel like I feel like that this has to happen to other authors. You know, you just kind of have an idea and you kind of pop it on the paper and you just kind of don't feel great about it. I don't know. That's what happened to me, and I don't want to put something out that isn't it isn't what I want it to be. Like that, I'm not going to just plop stuff out to just try to sell books. That's not what I want to do. Because I like writing. I've wanted to do it my whole life. And so it's important to me if I sit here and I say to you, hey, I wrote this book, I want it to be something that somebody would want to read, enjoy reading. I don't want to just throw something out. So, yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that book. Um, I may revisit it. I feel like, truth be told, I feel like it's something that I need a lot more time to spend on. It's a different genre than my first book. And so my first book was kind of like a dark romance. And this one was actually more of a suspense. So it was definitely a different jump. And so they're written differently. And so I just feel like that's something that I might work on further down the line at some point. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, it kind of stinks because I've spent this whole time writing that book. It was a book that um, I had actually started years ago. I had wrote several chapters of it, and then I had kind of stopped it, like I did with several other books that I have started throughout the years. And so when I decided to pick it back up, I was kind of excited to be able to pick up something that I started writing before. Two, it was kind of nice because some of it was already done, and so I was like, great, this isn't going to take me forever to write. Um, but yeah, it didn't work out. So we have decided to pivot, and I have jumped into I've jumped into a new book. Um, I haven't even started it. I actually just wrote up my like character reference sheet thing with the character. So we're jumping back to this will be a romance novel. Um, so yeah, I actually just started that yesterday. So I'm excited to get that because that book's been in my head. Excuse me. That's been in my head. Um, and so, yeah, we're going to see about getting that one out on paper. And hopefully that one doesn't end up scrapped either. So that's where we are. That's where we are with the books. And so, yeah, I have also decided to, um, I I know that a lot of people constantly I know so many people that sell things on Facebook Marketplace and stuff like that. I'm not a big Facebook person. I'm not a big social media person. Um which is not great because the side incomes that I'm trying to create really do rely on um social media. I'm not good at it. I'm not good at it. And so, anyway, and I really don't bother with Facebook. So, but I've decided that I am going to start listing some stuff on Facebook Marketplace to kind of bring in some extra income. So, backstory, um, I used to do, I used to be a clothing reseller years ago. 6 years ago, I started it. just to kind of, again, just bring in a little bit of income. And then I kind of grew it and all that. I never really wanted it to be a full-time income, but I was growing it as if, not as if I was going to have it be full-time income, but I really jumped into it. And so when I started with, just kids' clothes that, they didn't wear anymore, that didn't fit anymore, some stuff that I had bought and either just never wore and never returned, or stuff that, I just didn't want anymore. So that's where I started to kind of test the waters. And, I sold stuff and I was like, oh, okay. And so I'd watched a lot of resellers here on YouTube and everything. And one of the biggest things that I had, heard about was going to the Goodwill outlets, the bins. And so I tried it out and I actually really loved it. It was kind of fun. Um, and so that's what I did. I started going to the bins every week and stuff like that. And my inventory grew. And I started off on Poshmark, and then, I added eBay and Mercari and Depop. And things were going great. And then, but I just didn't, I don't know. I'm not a huge, besides going to the bins, like I'm not a huge going to a bunch of different thrift stores and flipping through racks and all that. Like, it's just kind of not my thing. So I did try wholesale for a while, but I just never found that I was as profitable with the wholesale stuff. Okay, I don't want to say profitable because that stuff does sell more, but I felt like the stuff that I was getting from the bins went a lot faster than the wholesale stuff. Um, so anyway, so I did that for several years. I don't even know, 5 years or so, 4 years. Okay. First off, let me say it, I haven't ended it. I just have stopped adding inventory over a year ago, well over a year ago. I stopped adding inventory. The Goodwill outlet, the bins that I was going to, they turned it into just a full thrift store and they got rid of the outlet part. And so that was it. There's only one other outlet that is um not by, it's like an hour away, which is basically almost the same distance as this other one was. But I've read a lot of reviews on that one, and that one apparently is horrible. So I decided not to bother with it. So I decided to just not even do my reselling anymore, and I just wanted to just sell the inventory that I have. So, but because I had grown it so much, I still have over 400 pieces of inventory. I have some that are um, in on racks in my sunroom. I have some that are in racks in my garage, and then there's actually a couple pieces in my office. And so I want to get rid of them. I really want to get rid of it. Just I want that space back, and I want to get rid of that inventory. So I've decided to start listing stuff on Facebook Marketplace. So now my plan is to, I have a bunch of like prom dresses and bridesmaid dresses. They're already are they are already listed over on Facebook Marketplace, and then I'm going to go through my other inventory and just kind of create bundles and then list them on Facebook Marketplace. And I'm hoping to just sell that stuff and be done with it. Put a little extra money in my pocket, and be done with the inventory. I'm not worried about huge profits because at this point, everything that I sell is basically profit. I've already just kind of made back my money like a long time ago. It's just a matter of getting rid of the rest of this inventory. So that is a new little income stream, temporary income stream, that I have decided to add. So we shall see how it goes. I have a couple friends who sell on Facebook Marketplace, and here comes my cat. She's going to be up here soon. Um, I have some friends on Facebook Marketplace, and I hear stories. I hear stories about Facebook Marketplace. So, oh my goodness. Hi, Bella. What are you gonna do? So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Um, those are kind of my updates. I think the only other thing that I'm working on is I want to I need to figure out how to market my book more. I do have an Instagram page, an Instagram author page. And so I do post about my book on there, but it's a brand new page, for one. So of course there's the brand new page pains. Yes, Bella. You want to be in the business, but you don't want to be on camera. Um, so I I don't really know what to do to market my book. I like I mentioned, I'm really horrible at social media. So really, really horrible at it as I sit here and talk on camera. I don't know why this feels more natural versus posting on social. I don't know. I have no idea. But if anybody has any ideas, let me know. Other authors, let me know. How do you market your book? Because I have no idea. I have no idea. It's up on Amazon KDP, and so it's up on Amazon. So it's competing with 755 million other books. So I am going to have to try to drive my own traffic, and I'm not good at that. So if anybody has any ideas, feel free to share them because I'm not really sure what to do. Um, I keep looking down because I have my list over here. If you haven't been here before, I was writing myself a list of just things I want to talk about, and that's kind of it. This is just kind of a little bit of a rambly video, as they always are. So those are my updates. I'm hoping that I can get some of this stuff sold on Facebook Marketplace so I can clear out some space and bring in a little bit extra income. And I'm going to get this new book started. I'm going to end it here because those are the end of my updates. And my cat is poking my leg and it hurts. So, her and her claws. So, thank you if you have stayed with me through this. What are we at? 17 minutes? Thank you if you have reached this point. You're a soldier. Again, if you are on any type of journey, looking to quit corporate, looking to change your life, looking to increase your income streams, share your stories, share your tips. Where are you at? Have you already done it? How did you do it? Let's just support each other. And as always, I hope you have a great day, a great weekend, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.